In this world just absolutely overflowing with information, notifications buzzing, headlines shouting, how do you actually cut through all that noise? How do you figure out what really matters? And maybe even more importantly, how do you help the people around you do the same? Often it comes down to something surprisingly simple, but really powerful. It's about asking the right question, at just the right time. That can honestly feel like a superpower. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into the art and maybe the science, too, of asking questions and coaching. We're pulling insights straight from our source material, Management English 11, Asking Questions and Coaching.pdf. Our mission, to give you a really well-informed look at how to master those crucial conversations. Yeah, this deep dive is specifically set up to give you some practical tools, some actual language you can use. It's really about more than just getting information, isn't it? It's about navigating tricky discussions, getting clear on what people mean, and yes, even coaching others effectively. So whether you're heading into a big meeting, just chatting over coffee, or in a formal development session, we want you to walk away feeling more confident leading those insightful chats and making sure communication is crystal clear for everyone involved, really. It just elevates the whole interaction. Okay, so where do we even start with unlocking this questioning superpower? It really begins with the basics, the bedrock of good communication. We're talking about asking, clarifying, and summarizing, understanding how to do those well. And right at the heart of asking questions, there's this fundamental split, right? Open versus closed questions. Closed questions are like flicking a switch. You get a yes and no, maybe short fact. Simple. But open questions, yeah, they're like opening a door. They invite people in, encourage them to elaborate, share the richer details.
Exactly. And it's amazing how using open questions strategically can just completely change the feel of a conversation. The source really hammers this point home questions, starting with how or why tend to be the most effective. They prompt deeper dives. But here's something interesting, a nuance I've definitely seen in practice. While why questions are great for getting to root causes, they can sometimes, put people on the defensive, like you're accusing them almost.
I can see that.
Think about the difference. Why did you miss the deadline versus maybe how did the timeline get impacted here and what can we learn? Let's see. The how focuses on the process, the solution. It feels less personal, less confrontational, often gets you better insights, especially if you're coaching. It's subtle, but makes a huge difference.
That's a really valuable distinction. I've definitely felt that defensiveness creep in with why questions if you're not careful. The how feels more like genuine curiosity, like you're exploring together, getting past the surface without creating friction. Okay, so you've asked these great open questions. What's next? Clarifying. And this isn't about twisting what they said into what you think. It's purely about checking your understanding of their message. The source talks about non-directive queries. Keyword. Non-directive. You're not leading them. You're just humbly asking for more clarity. Things like, could you clarify your intention when you said X? Or even just, sorry, I'm not quite sure I grasped that fully. Simple, direct, respectful.
You nailed it. And requesting clarification, it does more than just help you understand. Like the source says, it indicates that the listener is engaged and appreciates the speaker's message.
Yeah.
Think about you're talking, someone's just nodding. You wonder, are they really getting this? But if they pause and ask, could you maybe rephrase that last bit for me? That's active engagement. It shows respect, builds trust. Super important in complex talks or across cultures.
Definitely. And building right on that active listening is the art of summarizing. This one's incredibly useful. Its main job.
Yeah.
To show the other person you've understood them correctly. You're not adding your spin, just mirroring back. It ensures you're both on the same page before you, move on.
Yeah, and what's cool is how flexible summarizing is. Our source shows you can use it at different points, like right at the start. Okay, so after those 3 meetings, we're now deciding on suppliers and orders need to go out by Wednesday. Boom, everyone's aligned.
Sets the stage.
Exactly, or partway through. Right, so we've ruled out 3 suppliers. Now we need to pick 3 from the last 5 before we finish this meeting. Keeps things on track.
Let's check in.
And then at the end, to lock it all down, okay, agreed. These 3 suppliers. Orders by Wednesday, we know what we need to do.
It just gives this great sense of closure, confirms agreement, no ambiguity. Okay, so we've got the foundations. Open questions, clarifying, summarizing. That feels solid. But what if I told you that's just scratching the surface? Our source material reveals this whole toolkit of different question types, each one designed for a specific job. It's like having a set of keys. You need the right one for the right lock.
Absolutely. Let's dig into a few key ones, beyond just open-closed. First up, comparison and contrast questions. Great for seeing similarities, differences, getting the full picture. Like, how is process A different from process B? Makes you analyze.
Okay.
Then you've got structuring questions. So useful when things get messy or confusing. You might ask, could you just walk me through the key steps for this project again? It brings order.
Yeah, reins things in.
Definitely. For tackling problems, problem-solving questions are key. The source gives this example. Given how fast the budget's going, how are we going to fund the rest of this work? Forces you to think about solutions. And probing questions. These are for digging deeper, getting more info, seeing the bigger picture. Like, why do you think the Net Promoter Score dipped last quarter? Each one is tailored, helps you uncover different layers.
That's a really useful set of tools.
Yeah.
It does make me think, though, are there times when maybe, just maybe, a slightly leading question could be useful? Like, if you just need to quickly confirm something everyone probably agrees on, even with the risks the source mentions.
Yeah.
Because we absolutely need to talk about the tricky ones, leading and loaded questions. These need real care.
That's a sharp question, and you're right, there's nuance. The source definitely flags the dangers, but okay, in a very specific context where there's already a lot of trust, maybe a gentle leading question could quickly confirm something you're pretty sure of, but honestly, it's like walking a tightrope.
Risky.
Very. Leading questions, like the example, Jenny's a much better contributor than Bill, isn't she? They're designed to push someone towards your view. They can feel controlling, manipulative, and the source warns they can easily backfire. People don't like being cornered.
Nope.
And then loaded questions. Even more dangerous territory. They seem straightforward but hide assumptions, often negative ones. They can incite offense or be perceived as inappropriate, unfair, manipulative, or aggressive. Think about, has your factory always had trouble delivering on time?
Oof. Yeah, that assumes there is a problem, and it's chronic.
Exactly. Puts them instantly on defense. And the source rightly points out, culture plays a huge role here. What flies in one place might be deeply offensive elsewhere. Context is everything. Best to just steer clear most of the time.
That cultural point is so critical. Good reminder. Okay, so beyond those tricky ones, the source mentions a whole bunch of other specialized questions, like funnel questions. I like these. Start broad, then narrow down, like guiding someone gently into the details. You might start with, what kind of new products are you thinking about? Then slowly focus on features, budget, specifics.
Nice progression.
Then there are fact questions. Simple, direct, just getting the data. How many people came to the expo? How many brochures did we hand out? Essential for tracking things.
Straightforward.
And application questions. These are brilliant for connecting ideas to reality. Okay, we learned about this new AI tech. How would you use it to improve our project management? Makes it instantly practical.
Actionable.
And I love divergent questions. These are for breaking out of ruts, sparking creativity. Instead of just tweaking things, ask, what totally new marketing approaches haven't we even considered yet? Opens up fresh thinking.
Yeah, challenges assumptions. Good stuff. In building on that, evaluation questions. These help assess how things are going, find improvements, crucial for progress. Like, what are the blockers stopping this product from working better? Pushes for solutions, clears the path.
Removes obstacles.
Right. For looking ahead, inference questions. Based on that amazing MVP reaction, what can we guess leadership will want next? Helps you anticipate.
Future-proofing.
And let's not forget the human side, affective questions, exploring feelings, building empathy. How did the engineer actually feel after that performance review?
Yeah.
Gets to the heart of team dynamics, well-being. It's so important. And just a quick side note from the source, using someone's name can make a difference. Jane, it would really help if you could explain more about this. Makes it feel more personal, less like an interrogation.
Little touch, big impact.
Also, softening the question. Using phrases like, I was just wondering if you could share those insights again. Especially important across different cultures, builds trust, avoids putting people on the spot.
Good point. Diplomacy matters.
Okay, so we've really dug into asking questions for clarity, for understanding, for problem solving. But what if your aim shifts? What if you want to help someone else find their own answers, their own way forward? That's where coaching comes in. And our source highlights a really well-known framework, the GROW model. This is where things get really interesting, where questioning becomes truly transformative. The GROW model. Yeah, it's a cornerstone of coaching, and for very good reason. It perfectly uses all these questioning skills we've been talking about. It's an acronym. Goal, reality, options, and we'll sometimes called way forward. It gives you this clear, structured way to help someone figure out their goals, understand where they are now, brainstorm solutions, and then actually commit to doing something. It's all about guiding, empowering them to find their own answers. not telling them.
Right, guiding, not telling. Let's walk through it using some questions from the source. First up, G for goal. This is about defining success, making it smart, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, timely. Good questions here are, what do you want to achieve from this conversation? Or digging deeper, what's the goal behind that goal? Really getting to the core motivation.
Exactly. Then comes R for reality. This part is critical. It's about honest self-assessment. Where are you right now? Questions like, what's holding you back? Or that Staling question, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you now with this goal? These prompt that crucial reflection on the current situation, the challenges, maybe even the progress already made. As the coach, you just listen deeply here.
Got it. So once that reality is clear, we move to O for options. This is the brainstorming stage. Thinking creatively about different paths, different solutions, encouraging possibility thinking. You might ask, what else could you try? Or push the boundaries. If anything was possible, no limits, what would you do?
Helps break down those mental barriers.
Opens up the thinking. And finally, W for will, or way forward. This is where it gets real. Committing to action, planning the next steps, turning ideas into concrete plans. So you ask things like, what specifically will you commit to doing and by when? And crucially, on that 1 to 10 scale again, how confident are you that you'll actually take those steps? This drives accountability, builds their belief they can do it.
That confidence check is key.
Definitely. And it's worth mentioning, the source also includes some additional questions for managers experienced in coaching. These really take it up a notch. For example, a powerful foundation question is simply, what do you really want? Cuts right through the noise to the core desire.
Powerful.
Or a strategic one like, if you say yes to doing this, what are you saying no to? That forces consideration of trade-offs, priorities, really deepens the thinking.
Wow. What an incredible range of tools we've covered today. From basic open-close questions, navigating the tricky leading-loaded ones, all the way to the structured power of Draw OW. It's so clear how these different questions and the coaching model can genuinely help you understand situations better and empower others too. Hopefully, this deep dive leaves you feeling much better prepared to lead more insightful conversations, foster clearer communication in, well, every part of your work and life.
Absolutely, because effective questioning, it's not just transactional, is it? It's not just about getting data points. It's fundamentally about building stronger relationships, uncovering those hidden insights that might just stay buried otherwise, and really fostering a deeper, more textured understanding of complex issues, yes, but also of people. It's a skill, no doubt. It takes conscious effort, practice, and just being aware of the impact your questions have. But when you get it right, it can change everything. Individual chats, team energy, even the whole company culture. It ripples outwards.
Clarity and empowerment. That's a great way to put it. So here's something for you to think about as you go from here. How will you intentionally use just one of these question types we discussed? Maybe a probing question next time you hit a roadblock. Or perhaps try guiding a colleague with a JROW question. How will you use this to transform your next important conversation, to gain that extra clarity, or help someone else reach their goal? We've explored the tools. Now it's your turn to use that